Mosman is a spectacular peninsula with a remnant bushland fringe in the heart of Sydney, one of the world's most beautiful harbour cities. This suburb, with a rich human history, is home to exquisite patches of national park and bushland, hidden beaches, important built and human heritage, and an extraordinary marine ecology.
This is a remarkable part of the world. If you're sailing in those heads, you look along the northern foreshore of Sydney Harbour and you see pristine natural environment on 4 headlands.
Mosman Peninsula is home to hundreds of species, with bushland on the peninsula providing home to over 450 native plants and animals.
I love the trees and I love the naturalness of this particular area. Its Angofra trees are just so beautiful. They seem to be the characteristic. Around here we've got the corymbias and they're gorgeous too. And then there are the banksias, all this coastal vegetation.
Sydney Harbour also provides home to over 500 species of fish, more than the entirety of continental Europe. There is a long, rich history of the stewardship of the landscape and ecology of this extraordinary place. Mosman is the birthplace of Australia's bush regeneration movement. In recent decades, famous efforts over the preservation of extraordinary headlands have occurred here.
Mosman Parks and Bushland Association was then invited to volunteer to do bush regeneration here.
The judge actually said in his judgment, and I am sure this piece of land will be restored once the bushland groups get back to work here.
Yeah.
So that was a signal, a call out to Mosman Parks and Bushland. Hi!
Get to it.
We've got to get going.
Yeah.
And here we still are, 12 years later.
One of the world's leading marine research institutes today operates out of this peninsula, conducting groundbreaking work that has huge potential to open up marine restoration in harbour cities globally.
So Project Restore has 4 elements. We're installing living seawalls, we're doing kelp restoration, we're doing seagrass restoration, and then the final component of it is we're installing artificial fish habitats. And again, the ones we're installing these days look like living seawall tiles. They're 3-dimensional structures, and where we've removed, for example, seagrasses, and we can't restore those environments fast enough, to bring the fish back. We're giving them artificial structures which replicate that. So it gives us time to bring in, their native environments, things like seagrasses.
Today, Mosman continues to be well served by a proactive local council, very active bush care groups, environment groups, and thoughtful and passionate advocates for the long-term protection of the natural and cultural heritage of this critical part of Australia.
And of course, as you're on the water, it's lovely to look back and see these open spaces because they break up the built environment so well and provide that lovely relief and joy that you get from seeing the bush.
Rich in bird life and with a remarkably striking historical, urban, bush, marine and harbour interface, the Mosman Peninsula is a precious remnant of Australia's natural heritage in the heart of one of the world's most beautiful and biodiverse harbour cities.
I think it's very, very important for everyone, but especially for city dwellers. You really need your greenery and you really need your open space too, but your bushland is just so special.
How we nurture the urban-bush marine interface is critical to the conservation of nature in Australia, and Mosman is an incredible example of the importance of conserving nature in our cities.
This is such a special place for Australians because of those 3 very important values. We have pristine environment which has been protected here, and in a city that is now 5 million people and growing, the environmental values become more and more important. Apart from that, the military values that are here are nowhere else in this country. To remember our past, we understand our future. But how lucky are we too to have the intact Indigenous values here? The fact that they occupied these lands 37,000 years ago, and we can be here today, and we can understand and we can learn. These lands are the storybook of the nation. It is absolutely imperative that they be protected.